Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And this week I've got 3 big reviews for you. The first one is the biggest deal. It's the one movie that released in theaters this week, Jurassic World. You see, I got the shirt on, baby. And as well as a movie I didn't catch in its run in theaters, but I caught it now on DVD, starring Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth. It's called Blackhat. As well as a movie that was just recently released, straight to DVD release, The Marine 4. Yes, God help us all. So, let's kick off the show with one of the most anticipated movies to release in theaters this year. My thoughts on Jurassic World. The park is open. The original idea John Hammond was close to perfecting has now come to life in a dinosaur theme park called Jurassic World, which happens to be on Isla Nublar, the same island the original park was located on. Park officials have created a new attraction called the Indominus Rex, who's big, bad, and ready to haunt your nightmares. Unfortunately, the new dino busts out of his pen and creates mass hysteria in the park. So what did I think of Jurassic World? I thought it's a thrilling 4th film in the Jurassic Park series. The original film is one of my all-time favorites, so no matter what, it's going to be tough to hang in the same league. Do yourself a favor, and no, it's not going to be as good as the original. Lower your expectations and have fun, because there sure is some to be had. I love seeing the attractions in the park itself, from the gyrosphere, which allows you to safely sit in a circular sphere and drive right by stegosauruses and brontosauruses, the Gentle Giants petting zoo, where you can pet and even ride some of the nicer baby dinos, a feeding show at T-Rex Kingdom, and a Shamu-like show which features the humongous Mesosaurus. I wish a little more time had been dedicated to seeing more of the park's wonder. As you'd expect, there's some pretty exciting action sequences that include the Indominus Rex stalking his prey, both dinosaur and human, a pterodactyl attack from above, and raptors being set loose to try and stop the new giant's rampage. The last 20 minutes really made the film for me, and had it ended differently, I would have been majorly disappointed. The special effects dazzle, although I prefer the original look the dinos had in the original film. The story is fine, and the audience should know what to expect by now. When you go into a Jurassic Park movie, you know there's going to be running and screaming. And I was also surprised how emotionally invested I became with some of the dinosaurs, almost tearing up at certain spots. The great cast stars Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, the trainer of 4 velociraptors who doesn't think creating the new attraction is a good idea. I got a bad feeling about this. Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire Deering, the park operations manager who's all about that business. Vincent D'Onofrio as Vic Hoskins, the head of security at InGen who wants to use the raptors in the military. Yes, that storyline is still a thing. It may not be as fake as we all thought it was when it hit the web about 10 years ago. Nick Robinson and Ty Simpkins as Claire's nephews, who are in the park during the madness. And B.D. Wong, reprising his role of Dr. Henry Wu, the chief geneticist of Jurassic World. It may not be up there with the original, but Jurassic World is some of the most fun I've had in theaters this year. I'm going to give it the rating of A-List approved. That's right, it gets the rating of the A-List approval. Yes, I was very entertained by this film. It's a lot of fun. Chris Pratt does a great job. Big fan of him. Bryce Dallas Howard does a great job. Big fan of hers. The Raptors do a great job. It's funny to see them on the side of good for once. It's hard to judge who really the villains of the dinosaurs are. Because you can say the T-Rex is a villain, but he's the most loved, so, it's weird. But this Indominus Rex guy, you can tell he's He's a butt munch, this dinosaur. Probably because he's just created, but like, yeah, he's like a worse guy than the Spinosaurus, if that's hard enough to believe. You're like, oh god, just nuke this thing. Because he just like kills innocent dinosaurs and stuff out for fun, not even just to eat. But anyway, like I said, I love all the park aspects. I love that you see some of the rides and attractions and whatnot that are in this park. I would buy a ticket to this park in a second if it actually existed. But I guess the best we're going to get right now is the Jurassic Park ride at Universal, which I've been on both coasts. So I can say I've been to Jurassic Park, kind of, even though the dinosaurs are fake. But whatever. Still a lot of fun. If you are a fan of any of the 3 original movies, I don't know why you'd be a fan of the third one and not the first 2, but whatever. Definitely check this out on the big screen. It's definitely worth it. I saw it in 3D, and this is one of the first movies I've seen in 3D in a while. I would say it's worth it for the 3D. So definitely this weekend, check out Jurassic World. Alright, and as I said, I did not catch this next movie in its initial run because it's one of the few movies that didn't come to my theater when I lived back in Pennsylvania, so I'm glad I didn't really miss a whole lot. Spoiler for the next review, if anyone's still watching after the Jurassic World review as it is. This is my review of the newest Michael Mann film, Blackhat. When a cyber-terrorist begins to target governments and companies, their only hope of finding the culprit may be in the hands of a felon who's serving hard time for hacking. The prisoner reunites with an old pal, and they try to track the trail of the suspect. So what did I think of Blackhat? I thought it's a so-so drama thriller. This was a tough movie to review, as there are parts of the film that were good, but the things that are commendable are so spread out. The movie starts with close-ups of what is supposed to be the inside of a computer network, but looks more like the inside of the Death Star from the Star Tours ride. This effect is used a few times, and definitely longer than needed. It's a computer. We get it. This causes an explosion at a Chinese power plant, and later some funny business in the stock market. There are a few good shootout scenes every now and then, and a pretty cool last 10 minutes. There's lots of computer talk with buzzwords such as rat that will make Geek Squad members happy. Much like The Lone Ranger, this would make a good 30 to 45 minute film if it was edited down. There are way too many boring, drawn-out scenes in between what is actually important. It also clocks in at 2 hours and 13 minutes, way longer than it needs to be. Chris Hemsworth stars as Nicholas Hathaway, a convicted computer hacker who helps out the government for a reduced sentence. Lee Hom Wang as Captain Chen Dehua, an officer in China's cyber warfare unit who recruits his old pal Nicholas to work beside him. Tang Wei as Chen, Dawa's sister, who's a network engineer that gets romantically involved with Nicholas. What a shock. And Viola Davis as Carol Barrett, an FBI agent who wants to crack the case as well. Blackhat has its moments, but it's too tedious and forgettable to earn a recommendation. I'm going to give it the rating of meh. You know, like I said, it has very few moments that are somewhat decent, and all the rest is if it was not for those few decent scenes, this would be on my list of the worst of the year, because it's so long and drawn out to sit through for the little bit of satisfaction and entertainment you get from this product. This is a Michael Mann movie, who also directed films such as Heat and Collateral, and this has to be one of his worst projects. And like I said, there are a few good things, but really, there's nothing that good to sit through and watch this. Nothing you can't see somewhere better. Oh man. This was a tough one to sit through. It was, and I'm glad I didn't see it in theaters, to tell you the truth. Because I would have felt trapped in like a prison or something. Because this was a tough one to sit through for me here, and I did, but I would not recommend doing it. It only, like I said, it only gets a meh for some of the good scenes, but oh man, this. If you're a fan of Chris Hemsworth or a Thor of Michael Mann, you might give it a shot. I mean, now that it's on DVD for, on Netflix you can get it through, or $1.29 at Redbox or whatever it is these days. But you very well may end up turning it off. I wouldn't doubt it. So just be aware, it's long and it's very boring in between the good stuff. And finally, a new WWE Studios film, oh boy, starring The Miz and, for God's sake, Summer Rae. Oh boy. If you're a WWE fan, yeah, you know those two. So, here's my review of The Marine 4, Moving Target. Jake Carter, the Marine we saw in the last film, The Marine 3, is now working in a security job for the private sector. On his first day of the job, he's given the task of protecting a whistleblower. Let me blow your whistle, babe, whistle, yeah. Until she can meet with the government officials. Everything goes fine, right? Of course not. They're ambushed by a group of mercenaries looking to destroy their victim. So what did I think of the Marine 4 Moving Target? I thought it's a routine, straight-to-DVD action flick. It's hard to fathom this series is still continuing on, seeing the first movie was only, so-so. At least this time they stick with the same main character, instead of giving us a fourth Marine character who has to save a family member. There's nothing horrible about the film, but there's certainly nothing spectacular done here either. The movie begins with a painfully slow opening credits sequence that feels like it's right out of a PlayStation 1 game. Flashbacks to 1998. There's a large amount of violent action, which includes headshots, sees the characters involved in a car shooting, being chased through the woods, into the woods, into the woods, out of the woods, have us to shoot out at the police station, and then run back into the woods. I was surprised that there's actually a little bit of well-done suspense here. Yeah, it was amazing. I'm like, whoa, that was suspense. Now that was some suspense here, actually. The script, however, is filled with boring dialogue, especially in the first 20 minutes, where all the actors seem to be performing at the monotone convention. What did you do before you became a security guard? I was a Marine. I was stationed in Afghanistan. Oh, really? That's exciting. It was like being at Kristen Stewart's house. Let's put it that way. WWE star Mike "The Miz" Mizanin reprises his role as Sergeant Jake Carter, the former Marine looking to start a new career. Melissa Roxburgh as Olivia Tannis, the beautiful young woman Jake must protect. Matthew McCall as Ethan Smith, the corrupt agent who goes after Olivia. Josh Blackner as Andrew Vogel, the badass leader of the vicious team, and also WWE diva Summer Rae as Rachel Dawes, one of the mercenaries who doesn't get a whole lot to say. Thankfully. If you're a fan of The Miz or the series, it might be worth your time, but the Marine 4 Moving Target misses more than it hits its mark. I'm gonna give it the rating of meh. Yeah. Now, going back to Blackhat, I will say this movie was easier to sit through than Blackhat because the scenes of boredom in between were not 40 minutes long. It was, a couple minutes and then, action. There was a lot of action in the Marine 4. It could really be a video game. It really could have been. Nothing, like I said, spectacular here, but it was not a total waste of time. The Miz actually does a pretty good job, like he did in Marine 3. if you're bored on a Sunday afternoon and you've seen everything in the red box, give it a watch. If you are a fan, like I said, of The Miz or the series, you'll probably think it's okay. I mean, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not horrible. It's just a standard action film. It could have been called Standard Action Movie 4, you know? It really didn't have to be in the Marine series, but whatever. It's okay. Like I said, if you're bored, maybe give it a watch if you really feel like you want to. Alright, well that does it for this week. Next week I will be back with my reviews of Pixar's newest film, Inside Out, as well as Dope. Yeah, which is supposedly being called the next classic film, and compared to The Breakfast Club in the previews, yeah, we're gonna see about that. As well as whatever else I might catch on DVD or Blu-ray. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. You can like me on Facebook. Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. And of course, you can buy my book, The A-List Review 2014 Movie Yearbook. Over 150 reviews, only $10. Contact me through Facebook or Twitter if you're interested. Until next time, Troop out.